Yeah, I'm live. Cool. All right. So, hi. I'm Ariel Grace from A Gang of Girls Radio. And we're going to be talking about psychic kids tonight. So, I got a whole bunch of information about psychic kids. And I want to share it with you. First, though, hey, Amy. I'd like to say, I'd like to do some little announcement type things before we get started here while peeps are starting to come to log in and stuff. First, if you want to have a reading, hi Robert. If you're looking for closure for those people who have passed on, and you need a reading, you can get a hold of my bro, Psychic Theo, at psychictheo.com. That's what he does. He's a psychic medium, and he can assist you with closure. Okay, because I usually don't do that. I'm not a closer. Ha! Hi, Mom. So the next announcement is if you are looking for an astrologer, you can check out Rockin' Reverend Rhonda at karmiclaw.com. She's awesome, and if you need a consult, an astrology consult with her, check her out. Sign up for her newsletter. She sends it out once a month. She gives the astro news for the month. She's really, really awesome. The way she explains it, you will definitely understand it. So check her out at karmiclaw.com. Hi, Tanya. And for anyone who's looking for a medical intuitive, you can check out Marcella Z or Marcella Zinner at marcellaz.com. Okay, for those of you who are interested in that. Hey, Leslie. So, and then also for those of you who were asking me about Evie and Ella, it's a book I'm writing, a children's book. I'm almost done with it. All the money from Evie and Ella is going to children's cancer. So when I do have it finished, it's published. Hey, Rebecca. I'll be posting it everywhere. I'll put it in my newsletter, all that other good stuff too. So you can check out my newsletter. You can sign up for it at arielgrace.net. I send it out once a month, sometimes twice a month. Yeah, it just depends. But mostly just once a month, usually last week in the month. So you'll know what the specials are and stuff and what's coming up and everything. So hi, Slovena. So someone told me a couple weeks ago, I think, that, me saying hi to everybody kind of is, it's disruptive. But the reason why I say hi to you is because I want to acknowledge that you're here and you're with me, because I feel like everybody should be acknowledged. And so, but that's what I do. That's what I've always done because, I appreciate and love you. Hey, last week, Psychic Theo and I, he's my bro, were on, and we were doing one question readings. Theo and I will be together in Chicago in March. We're going to be doing a Reiki 2 workshop, and we're also going to be doing some other stuff together. It's going to be very fun for us because we like working together. So stay tuned for that. You can check him out again at psychictheo.com. All right, so tonight we're talking about psychic kids. That is like one of my most favorite things because I love psychic kids. They're so cool. They're so fun. One of the cool things that I do is I don't label them. Like I don't say, oh, that's an indigo child or that's a crystalline child, or I don't do any of that stuff. Instead, I tell it like it is. They're either a psychic medium, a psychic, an empathic. They're intuitive. They can do intuitive drawings, because psychic kids have the same, like the same talent as any other psychic does. So there's all kinds of them, and tonight we're going to talk a little bit about them, give some handy tips and tricks about how to connect with the psychic kid, what to do with them. And the one thing that I did have a friend of mine, her name's Darla. She has a website, it's called naturallybydarla.com. Okay? One of the things that she did for me was she created what I call monster spray. And monster spray is for our psychic mediums mostly, but it can be for every kid. Okay? It has all kinds of fun stuff in it. It has salt in it. It has roses in it, rose water in it. The roses The reason why we put salt in, salt is to dissipate anger, frustration, all that other kind of stuff, lower frequency feelings. And then the roses, the smell of roses is the highest frequency of all, because what? It's the smell of love. It has lavender in it for soothing and calming. It also has frankincense in it for blessing and clearing. So you can check out the Monster Spray. It's at naturallybydarla.com. I recommend it for all kids. I recommend it specifically for psychic kids that have a hard time sleeping, that see things in the dark. And they can use the spray themselves, so they can spray their rooms, and it helps them because they're doing it themselves, right? So with supervision, of course. You don't want them spraying the whole bottle all at once, but you do want them to spray it themselves so that they feel they're doing it themselves. Okay? There's some things here tonight that you and your psychic kid can do together. All right? And there's some things that your psychic kid can do on their own. And tonight we're going to also do the Cosmic Dragon meditation at the end, because the Cosmic Dragon meditation is for everybody. And I wrote it for kids specifically. So if you have any questions while we're going on, please let me know. Put them in the comments. I can see the comments, and so that way I can answer your questions. Make the questions short though, because if it has a continue thing, it doesn't work on the iPad or the iPhone. I don't know why. All right, now with psychic kids, the one thing that I do want to talk about is, what are they? Okay, so there are, just like adults, there are psychic mediums. And a psychic medium is somebody who is able to connect with those dearly departed, connect with spirit guides, angels, and connect like that. And a lot of times they do it naturally. Sometimes they do need to be trained though. So when they get older, have them take classes or find somebody who can help them. When they're younger, the thing that you can do with a psychic medium is listen. Listen to what your child is saying. And any child really is listen to what your child is talking about or what they're saying, because it's really important for your child to be acknowledged, and not called silly because they see something that you can't. Usually what happens is the traits are inherited through generations. Okay, so sometimes there's a skip generation. Sometimes the kid just ends up being psychic, but a lot of times the gift comes down through ancestors. Okay, and so sometimes our parents know about it, sometimes they don't. Because of religion though, hey Amy, because of religion, some people have zip their mouths, because it could be something bad. But really, it's not bad because it's a gift. That's what I call it anyway. So a psychic is someone who is like me. I'm psychic, and I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, sometimes clairsentient, and claircognizant. So clairvoyant means I see, clairaudient means I hear, clairsentient means I feel, and claircognizant means I know. So it's not like I know, but if you think of your child as like a vase, okay, and your child is always being filled with information, you'll see that you'll need to set boundaries with them. But that's basically what it is that we're always being filled with information. And so the first thing that we need to do is set up boundaries as to what information do we want to see or hear or know. We only want information that is for our highest good. And that is the best intention that you can make and have your child make. I only want information for my highest good. And believe me, psychic powers or psychicness is not telepathy. Telepathy is a whole different ballgame way out there. There are some psychics that are connected telepathically to some people, but I'm not telepathic. I do not want to know the color of your underwear. And you should teach your child respect. You know, don't open your mouth unless you're asked about it. Because there are some children that will use their intuitive abilities to manipulate. They will. They'll use their abilities to manipulate people. And so we need to teach our children boundaries, and we need to teach our children respect for other people's privacy, right? Okay, because I don't go around like looking at people and like immediately doing readings, because it's not cool, right? Not everybody wants a reading. Not everybody wants to know. So unless you make an appointment with me, you're not going to know nothing. That's how I roll. And so it's a good, respectful way of helping your children understand boundaries and privacy. Hi, bro. Hi, Theo. So, with that being said, you know, talk to your children about that, especially the clairvoyant and the clairaudient. Because sometimes Uncle Ray does not want to know what your kid has to say about, I don't know, his ex-girlfriend that was a crazy lunatic and spent all his money. I have no idea. Anyway, so we want to make sure that you set up good boundaries with them, that they understand what they're doing, and that not to let them manipulate you. Because I've met a lot of psychic kids and I had to break those habits. The other thing I want to talk about is overstimulation with psychic kids. A lot of parents think it's really cool that their kids can do readings and stuff. And so what they'll do is they'll even set up parties for them to do readings. Now, a child does not understand adult feelings or maturity and all that stuff. So they can't really, their words won't go past a certain point. If they're overstimulated, so say like for me, I limit my readings to 4 a day. I do 4 readings a day. That's what I do. Okay? Otherwise, I'm not grounded and centered and stuff, and I don't feel good. So I like to stay grounded and centered. So 4. That's what I do. If you are setting up your kids with parties and stuff like that, that's a no-no. Overstimulation, you can get temper tantrums, you can get a lot of crying, a lot of fussing, a lot of anger and frustration, because it's just too much information. It's too stimulating for your children. Don't do it. Okay? Kids really shouldn't be doing readings at all. It's okay for them to get information, maybe journal it, tell you about it. That's cool. Okay? But to set them up to do that kind of stuff, to make money for you, forget it. That is abuse. Yeah. And I'm not, hey, I won't stop and yell at you, but I will warn you that you're going to be putting up with a lot of crap, and it is abuse to do that to your children. Okay? Okay. So make sure that you're not don't give them tarot cards or anything like that. Give them things to read. If you want them to know about their gifts and stuff, give them things to read, because there's a lot of really cool authors right now writing kids' books about psychic kids. And so then they can see that they're not the only person that has these abilities. Right? Now, one parent was like, "Oh my God, my kid's psychic. She's not going to end up like you, is she?" I was like, I hope not. But I think what she meant is she's not going to end up being like a psychic like you, like professionally. No, it doesn't mean that they become a professional psychic. Hi, Angel. It just means that they can encourage them to utilize their abilities, okay? So that they can use them in their daily life, just like I encourage you to utilize your abilities in your daily lives, so that you can use that intuitive ability that you have that's inside you. Everybody has it. Okay? It's up to you to decide what you want. All right. So we're going to start with empathic kids. Okay? So with empathic kids can read a room, or they can read a crowd. They can read a person. And a lot of times, young empathic kids, what happens is they can't discern between their feelings and someone else's feelings. Okay? So what I suggest you do, and this is a fun game, you can sit down with your family or friends and have your child, touch each person and let them know what they're feeling. And then they touch each person, and then they touch themselves, and they let everyone else know what they're feeling. And you do this, everybody does it. Everybody does it. And that way the child can start to learn or discern their own feelings from other people's feelings. So when they go to like an event, like say they go to a children's event, and they're surrounded by all this craziness and fun, and everybody's excited and stuff, they can still start learning how to discern their feelings and the crowd's feelings. So then they don't get overstimulated, and they're more able to enjoy the atmosphere of wherever you're at. So the touching game. Touch. What do you feel like? What emotion are you feeling? How was your day? And that answer comes in. Hi, Kelly. So that way we're learning discernment. The other thing you can do with a kid, and this is fun, with any kid, with any psychic kid, regular kid, empathic kid, and you parents can do this too, because we all need this, is visualize yourself in a bubble with mirrors facing outward. And you want the mirrors to face outward, because any energetic thing that comes at you will see themselves in the mirror and turn and go the other way. So they don't want to bother themselves, right? They want to bother you. So that's a good way, and you can have your child draw their bubble or draw their egg. The egg or bubble can be any color they want it to be. It can be, it has to go all the way around them, even under their feet. So you're like a hamster ball. But the mirrors have to be facing outward, so the goo and cooties slides off of them. All right? It doesn't stick. Okay, so the other one too, the other thing that you can teach your child, especially psychic mediums, is, and to say this very firmly, I am a child of God, be gone. It is really important that they say that. I am a child of God, be gone. Especially if you're in a haunted place or you live in a haunted place. So there's a lot of haunted places. They're everywhere, all over the place. So you want to make sure that's a great protection thing for them to say, and say it firmly and believe it. Because once they say it, because it's so strong, and you can say it too, if something happens to you, that whatever is bothering them will remove itself, or it will be removed. Okay? So that's a good tool for the tool bag. The egg, I'm a child, be gone. I'm a child of God, be gone. And also the touching game. Okay? Those three things can help your child so much, as well as claiming their space, like claiming their bedroom. Now, every psychic kid, I always ask them, is your room clean? And they're like, have you been talking to my parents? No. I'm just saying, is your room clean? Because their rooms need to be clean. They need to be neat. Their things need to be put away. It needs to be clean. And the reason why is because spirits love a mess. They love a messy house. Every haunted house that you've gone into has probably been a mess somewhere. Someplace in there, it's messy. Hoarders' houses are always haunted. Because spirits love a mess. Why? Because they create a mess. And so if your house starts getting messy and you don't know why it's getting messy because you're not a slacker, check your house, make sure it's not haunted. All right? So every psychic kid needs to have that clean, clear home, clean, clear bedroom. And I always ask the kids when I do work with them, what does your room look like? Have you cleaned it? And the parents are like, the room's not clean. And that's usually what happens is, like, when the room gets clean, that means there's something going on in their energy field. They brought something in, or the house is haunted. So you want to keep the place clean and clear. All right? And there's lots of things that you can do to keep your house clear. All right? I wrote a book. It's called I'm Psychic Not Telepathic. It has all that stuff in it. It does how to keep your house clear, how to lock it down, all that fun stuff. Because you know what? We need to do that anyway, to make sure that our living space is harmonious. Okay? So, now, you want to make sure that their energy field, your energy field, is clear, and to take steps to keep everything clear for them. Right? Hi, Amy. So, lots of Amy's tonight. This is really cool. Now, the other thing, too, is you're going to want to ask your children, and they may talk about this a lot, is you may want to ask them, like, who their guardian angels are. Most kids will be able to tell you. Just ask them who their guards are. So that way, you will know who their guards are, and they know who their guards are. So what are the guardian angels? The guardian angels are there to guide, guard, and protect your child. So they're there to keep them out of trouble. So whether the child listens or not, it's really up to, hey, Amy. Okay, so, yeah, it took you 5 frogs, girlfriend, to get your message. But, you know, you want to make sure that they know who their guardian angel is, the name, and they know what their guardian angel feels like. All right? So, and you can ask them. Most kids know. They'll know. Most intuitive kids, psychic kids, will know. And so whenever you're going anywhere, just let them know, hey, you may want to be more aware of your guardian right now, so that when we go in this place, you know, we've never been in there before, they can help you out. Okay, especially schools. You know, schools are scary. I don't care what anybody says. Going to school, scary place. Because there's a lot of scary people in schools. And I'm not talking about teachers. Well, some teachers are kind of scary, but kids are scary to each other. They're mean. And so you want to make sure that your child feels comforted when they go to school, especially if they've been having problems in school. You may want to ask your child as well not to talk about their intuitive abilities at school, because that's something that somebody will tease them about, because it is an unknown. And what is unknown? Unknown is fearful, because a lot of people fear the unknown. They just do. Instead of leaping into the unknown, they fear it. And so they'll make fun of your children. So you want to make sure that your children feel comfortable in their own skin. And one of the ways, it's not really hiding it, it's just that's not the place to discuss their gift. It's not. The place to discuss their gift is within the home, and, you know, with special friends that they do have. Speaking of special friends, if your children are talking about people that you can't see that help them, listen to what they're saying. Listen to the names of the people. Listen to how they describe these people and what these spirit guides or angels do for them. And you can ask them too, is it a spirit guide or is it an angel? And if they ask you what that is, an angel is a being of light, and a spirit guide is also a being light, but it may look like a human person. Because a lot of times our spirit guides are people that we've known in past lives or our ancestors. And they're here to assist us with whatever we're going through at that time. They do change. So you don't always have the same spirit guide all the time. Okay? And some spirit guides also are animals. And a lot of times kids will see them as animals because why? Kids can relate to an animal easier than they can relate to an adult. Right? So their spirit guide named George might be a white bunny because that's their favorite animal. And that's the way that spirit guide appears to them. All right? So listen carefully to your children as to what they're talking about when they're talking about their people, their invisible friends. All right? Okay. Because like my son, Risco, when he was little, he had a friend named Barney. Barney had to have a seatbelt. He had a place at dinner. Barney went with us everywhere. And Barney was his like spirit guide friend, there to assist him when he was little, to guard him until he was 12. He was there to help, Risco out. And so Barney was a 6-foot tall army guy that Risco knew during the Vietnam War. He was his best friend. And yeah, it is a little crazy when you walk into your child's bedroom and his spirit guide friend and he are building missiles for the base to blow up the bad guys. So I had several talks with Barney about like, let's try not to build any more missiles. Let's build nice things. Okay? So you can have that talk with their spirit guides and angels. You are the parent, and until the child turns 18, you're able to talk to their spirit guides and angels, and you're able to have a better understanding of what those spirit guides and angels are there for. Okay, that's coming out in the next Psychic Storybook. So it'll be fun for you. Almost done with that one. So that way it can assist you. All right? Okay, so remember with psychic kids too, don't treat them with kid gloves. Treat them like your other kids. Make sure that, they have structure. Make sure that there are boundaries. Make sure that they're doing their homework. Make sure that they're, doing all the normal kid things too, because they need to be balanced. You don't want to put your kid on a pedestal. That is the wrong place to put your kid. You want to make sure that your kid is centered and grounded. Okay? Because if your kid isn't centered and grounded and they're put up on a pedestal, what are they going to act like when they're older? They're going to act ditzy and think that they're the best thing since popcorn in a bad way. That's not good. We want to make sure that they're confident in their gifts. They can utilize them daily. They can follow through. Plus, they can do all the earthly everyday things. Okay? Okay. All right. So, and remember, don't laugh at them when they tell you different things. Instead, try to figure out what's going on. Like, my other son said, he was like 6 years old, and he was like, he's like, Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a priest again. I was like, not in this lifetime. You are not going to be a priest. No. You've been priest lots of times. No, Mom, I want to be a priest. You're 6 years old. It'll change. But he said it very clearly. So you may have some past life stuff that come up with your kids too. You may have some fears. They may have some fears about different things, weird things, and just ask them why they have those fears. Why are they afraid? And explain to them in this lifetime that they can be and all that without fear. Okay? Okay, so yeah. Yeah, Mom, I can't see the see more thing. When I hit the see more thing, it gives me an emoji. So I know you told me about having an I don't know what happened. You told me about having an invisible friend when you were little. So yeah, I'm not sure what I did with the Gang of Girls radio thing. Uh-oh. We're going to take that off. Okay, so now does anybody have any questions about what we've been talking about with the Psychic Kids? I just want to make sure because I want you to be able to understand it. I have some blogs on Clarity 101 and I shared them, I think, this week. So they'll be on a Gang of Girls Radio Facebook page and they'll also be on my profile, the Ariel Grace profile page. So there's a couple Psychic Kid blogs there. And also, let's see, there's more information about Psychic Kids and I'm Psychic Not Telepathic, and also in Haunted, a psychic story too. So there's handy tips and tricks there for your tool bag that you could teach your kids, so they'll be able to work things out, all right, for themselves. You want to make sure not to make fun of them, even though sometimes it might be funny, some of the things that they say. You want to make sure to really make sure they are feeling good about themselves, okay? So when they are older, and if they're more curious and they do want to do readings and things like that, wait till they're 16 or so to give them the things like, cards, give them other implements and that. One of the things that you could do with little kids, and they love this, is pendulums. Little kids love pendulums. So this is what a pendulum looks like. It's got like a little bottom, whoops, and then another side, see? So it's a pendulum, and they can learn how to use a pendulum with yes and no's. I wouldn't recommend this for little tiny kids, but kids 10 to 15, they can usually get a pendulum to move. So what you want to do is look up pendulums. I think that is in, I think I have a thing about that on Clarity 101 and in I'm Psychic Not Telepathic. And you always ask for the highest and best good, and you have them practice with it. Show me yes. Show me yes. You moving? Yeah, you're moving. Okay, so it's moving back and forth. Okay, show me no. Okay, thank you. You can stop now. All right, so what you can do with them is practice with them, always asking for the highest and greatest good. And explain also to your child about intention, how important intention is when they are looking for figuring out, or they're looking for information. So intending for the highest and greatest good is the best thing too. So whenever they do start doing readings and stuff like that, their prayer is always for the higher and better good of the person that they're reading for and themselves for that information, okay? So, and if you're having problems with your psychic kid, I do work with psychic kids. I do assist them with teaching them specific things for their specific needs, right? So that way they feel confident about who they are and what they're doing, especially psychic mediums, because psychic mediums are pestered a lot, and they will, they need to learn confidence, like up front, and sending spirits to the other side. I call it being a travel agent, because that's basically what you're doing. You're helping them travel to the place that they need to go. So, it's really important that they learn confidence in that, not to be afraid of it, and so that they can move those spirits out to their next destination, okay? It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just is. And sometimes, most of the time, they do get hitchhikers. And the hitchhikers will come in. They'll just come into the house, your home, and wreak havoc until they can go home. So you don't want that. You want to make sure that your little psychic medium knows what to do. Okay? All right. So, and I've taught them as young as 12 years old. And they take to it as long as they know that they don't need to be afraid of it. Okay? All right. Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. I'm going to be talking more as we go on about this type of stuff because it's the thinning of the veils. And it's an exciting time of the year. And one of the cool things that you can do with your kid is you can set up an altar. An altar can be anything you all want it to be. You know, it can have statues on it. It can have pictures on it. It can have prayers on it. It can have whatever you want. I always put statues and things on my altars, and then I also give offerings. So like right now on my altar is coffee, salt, almonds, and glitter dust from Melinda Carver. Fairy dust from Melinda Carver. So that's what's on my altar right now, along with some statues of some feminine deities. And one thing that would be cool is you could set something small up with your child during this time of year and let them know, you know, like what deity would you like, you know, or what picture would you like on here. You could build an ancestor altar and put grandparents' pictures on there or grandparents' possessions on there to honor those people that have passed on. Okay? All right, so that's a fun homework thing to do. Let's see how many of you guys do this. Let me know if you do, okay? All right, and then we'll be talking about Dia de los Muertes. We're going to be talking about All Saints Day, Dia de los Muertes, and we're going to be talking about Samhain or Halloween. Yeah, we're going to do some paranormal talk. We're going to talk about what to expect during what a psychic does during a paranormal investigation, and what happens during that, because that's fun. That's always fun. So we'll be talking about some cool stuff coming up here to Halloween, because I always try to do something like that during this time of year, so you can learn confidence within yourself and learn how to connect too, because everybody's got it. Everybody's intuitive to some extent, and it's up to you to decide how intuitive you are. So you gotta go flex those intuitive muscles, right? Use the tools. Put them in your tool bag. Move on out. All right. So have a great week, and remember to keep your hearts open and align with the energy of love. All right? Good night, everybody.